My boss kicked me out for his new favorite, then called begging me to save his biggest clients. My boss fired me so he could give my job to the woman he was clearly favoring, and 2 days later, he was begging me to come back. I've been a project manager at a tech company for 6 years, but Carlos kept me and my small freelance team as contractors, so he didn't have to pay benefits or give us any security. We built what they sold, and we handled the mess when things went wrong. Then last spring, Vanessa showed up. No tech background, but suddenly she was in every meeting, sitting right next to Carlos. He started promoting her fast, while my contract renewal kept getting delayed. In one client call, she repeated my plan word for word, and Carlos thanked her like she'd solved everything. A week later, my team's invoices sat pending approval for days, but Vanessa's title changed again. She'd stroll in late with coffee for both of them, and Carlos would act like she was a genius for saying the most basic stuff. People whispered, but nobody wanted to touch it. Meanwhile, I was working 60-hour weeks trying to keep our biggest clients happy. That quarter, I closed a deal worth $2 million and helped launch a software solution that turned into their best-selling product. Carlos was bragging to clients about features we hadn't even finished building yet, so my team was working nights just to keep up. I kept asking him to bring us on full-time, because we were doing full-time work anyway. I'd sent emails and even made a short slide deck about cost and stability. Every time, he said the budget wouldn't allow it. Then one Friday at 4 p.m., Carlos called me into his office. He didn't even look at me when he said, "Your performance isn't meeting our standards anymore." I asked, "Which standards?" He shuffled papers and said, "We're restructuring. We need full-time employees. Contractors aren't sustainable." I just stared at him, because that was my idea, and he'd ignored it for years. Then he finally said, "Vanessa will be taking over your projects starting Monday." I asked if I was being let go, or if he wanted a handoff. He said, "You have 30 minutes to pack your desk." My badge stopped working before I even reached my desk. Security showed up and stood there while I boxed up my stuff like I was a problem. It was raining, and I carried boxes to my car with wet sleeves sticking to my skin. When I looked up, Vanessa was already in my old office, moving my things around like she owned the place. She even taped up a cheesy quote about manifesting success on my shelf. I drove home in a blur and sat in my driveway crying so hard my chest hurt. My wife found me in the car and helped me inside without saying much. That night, I updated my LinkedIn out of pure anger and listed what I'd actually delivered. 2 days later, on Sunday morning, a company I'd pitched to last year called me. They said they'd heard I was available and offered me double my pay, equity, and a team of 5 developers. I was at my kitchen table reading their offer when my phone buzzed again. Carlos. I answered, and his voice was shaky. "Hey, I know things ended weird," he said, "but I really need a favor." He asked me to send over the project files for a major client account. I said, "Those are on my laptop." He said, "Great, send them." I said, "My personal laptop, the one I paid for." The line went silent. Then he started talking fast. "Vanessa can't access anything," he said. "None of the passwords work. We've got client presentations next Wednesday, and we have nothing ready." He said they couldn't find the latest decks. The demo build wouldn't open, and 3 big accounts were at risk. I asked, "So why is this my problem?" He said, "Please, come back as a consultant for a couple weeks. Just get us through this." His words came out in a rush. I told him I accepted another job this morning. He actually gasped and said, "Wait, don't do that. Name your price. Whatever it is, I'll approve it." I thought about the late nights, the empty promises, and Vanessa taking credit in meetings while Carlos smiled. So I said, calm as I could, $500 an hour. He started to argue, so I added 40-hour minimum, and you pay it up front before I touch a file. He tried to negotiate, and I just hung up. 3 minutes later, he called back and agreed to everything. He also said Vanessa would be moved to another department, and I'd report directly to the CEO for this work. Monday morning, I walked back in as a paid consultant with the CEO copied on every email. Carlos looked like he hadn't slept. Vanessa walked up like she was in charge, but the CEO cut her off and told her to sit and take notes. I opened my laptop and started a 4-hour onboarding about basic project management and how our client demos actually run. Vanessa sat